Hi, I'm David Kerr, and welcome back to In the Know. We're with Evolution Motorsport, their special weapons. This is their secret weapon. This is what they bring to the table amongst their energy about rebuilding cars. They also have this special piece of equipment that isn't anywhere in our region. It's a unique device called a dynamometer, and they call it just dyno for short, which is where I'm going to start using the reference because it's a lot of words put together. And what this does, as I understand it, and I'm going to let Kevin explain it in detail, is it tells you not only how much horsepower you have, because a lot of people could tell you that, but what it takes to get more horsepower and more performance out of your car. And that's the big difference. So Kevin, can you tell me how this works and how that happens?
Well, what we have here is a Mustang Dyno 1750. It's one of the top of the line two-wheel drive dynamometers on the market. It's one of the best in that it factors in wind resistance and weight where other lower-end dynos do not, which is why Mustang dynamometers notoriously read low. They don't really read low, they read accurate, where the other guys aren't compensating for factors that you incur when you're driving the car on the road. It measures horsepower and torque, and it's just a great machine. What it's best used for, aside from measuring horsepower and torque, is tuning, where you put a standalone engine management system in your vehicle once you've done modifications that you need to change when the spark plugs fire, when the injectors fire, how long the injectors stay open, and many, many other parameters. You end up with a laptop plugged into the ECM of the car, and you have tables. And in these tables there are cells, and in each cell you have a different piece of data telling the computer when to either fire the spark plug or open the injector. And that is how you adjust the air-fuel ratio, which is what affects how much horsepower your car makes, how reliable it is, how long it'll last, and how it responds to your inputs.
One question I want to ask you, this is an extremely technical piece of equipment, probably the most technical thing I've ever seen around an automobile or any kind of repair shop. How do you get to be expert enough to work on this device? And I'm asking you specifically.
Well, cars were always my thing. I started working on cars with my father when I was very young, 13, 14, out in the garage, tinkering. I bought my first car when I was 14. We played with that. After high school, I wasn't really sure. The only thing I had any type of passion for was cars, fast cars specifically. So Wyoming Technical Institute, Wyotech, was calling my name. I went to Wyotech for 1 year. It was my degree is in automotive technology, and I majored in high-performance powertrains, which is building high-performance forced induction, naturally aspirated, any type of engine you can imagine, getting it in your car, getting it on the dyno, and tuning it so that it runs perfect.
Well, one thing, we've been saying that this is more than just taking your car to find out how much horsepower you have. One question I have, this is a highly technical, awesome piece of equipment. But when somebody comes in here, you measure the horsepower, but you do more than that. You increase its performance. How much can you increase the performance of a vehicle?
Well, that all depends on what modifications have been done, if any, from the factory. There are definitely some cars that are so plugged up from the factory that you can get 60, 70 horsepower out of them just by tuning these tables with no modifications whatsoever.
Yeah.
For example, a few weeks ago we had a car come in. When it got here, it barely ran because of some of the modifications that had been done to it. The factory computer no longer could read what was going on. The first time it ran on the dyno, it made about 288 horsepower, and when it left out of here, it made 424 horsepower and 464 foot-pounds of torque.
I have only one comment to that.
That's
wow.
insane.
And we're gonna see how it actually works. So put your hands over your ears because this thing's gonna make some noise. Now we're going to see what the dynameter really sounds like, what it really looks like. We've got it ready to go. We've got Kevin in the driver's seat.
Yo!
And we've got Dempsey over at the computer. Hey! that just went off the wow factor. That was loud, that was powerful. But what just happened? Kevin, can you tell us?
Well, what just happened is this car put down 625 horsepower and 627 foot-pounds of torque. It came in with about 520 after the modifications being untuned. Its supercharger pulley's been changed.
When it came to the shop.
When it came to the shop, yes.
Right.
It had a couple modifications, different supercharger pulley to increase the boost level, methanol injection, and a different camshaft, a little bit of exhaust work, but it was untuned, so it wasn't at its full potential for those modifications.
Right.
We went through, did a little bit of calibrations, changes to the fuel map, the ignition map, and we've added quite a bit of power, as you can see.
So it's virtually a new car, isn't it?
Oh, it's a whole different car to drive, I'm sure.
Now, you have what are called, you take this remarkable machine, which is an amazing bit of technology. I mean, not just a bit of technology, but it's a powerful package of technology. And you take it on the road sometimes, or you have days here.
Oh, yes.
What people can come in here and have their car tested, get a little information about what they've got, what they can do to it?
We have a secure location that we're able to drive straight line ops checks, transmission checks, brake checks. We have a dyno for a reason. We don't break laws. We don't speed out. We keep our vehicles high speed on the dyno, but we take it, test the engine, test the brakes, and all that kind of stuff. Yes, we have a secure location. We take all our vehicles to road test them.
Oh, the road testing, yes, right.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we've seen here is really just a piece of what they do here at Evolution Motorsport. We've seen a little of their work on restoration. We saw the dynameter, which is really their crown jewel. But they also do work of all kinds on vehicles. They do restoration of the interior. They even put in sound systems. They improve the performance of not just super high performance cars like this, but of surprisingly average vehicles to make them just that more efficient, just that more fun to drive.
That's right.
And that's a lot of what these two remarkable men, Dempsey on my right, Kevin on my left, do in their job is they make driving exciting.
We are the evolution in speed.
And that's which I've been our privilege today on In the Know to visit Evolution Motorsport. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Just super show. You both have.
Couldn't have had a better car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's our lucky to do this and demoing.